So I figured it's time we introduce ourselves to those of you who've been following us so far. We've not really been up on here officially to introduce our music and who we are. My name is Benji, aka Nene Phoenix. I'm hiolikristo, and she's over there in that couch, yeah. And we're about to release two albums, mixtape type albums. They're not like official albums, but before then we want to proceed with some behind the scenes and some some of the singles that we're dropping up here on YouTube as well as on Instagram and Facebook and all that. And we hope that you will be interested in following us. We currently have a couple of things on YouTube, but we've not been really consistent in on our channel. That's because we have to take time to sort it out. This is like a one-man team or two-man team, so we have to take time to finish the music, get it to a very decent level at least that can be listened to and appreciated for its quality. And social media, sadly, is not something that we are used to, but apparently it's something we need to start doing a lot more. So hopefully, as time goes back, we'll be taking you to behind the scenes. We'll be in the studio here whilst we do the mixing. We are trying to restart the computer to do the mixing and stuff. So we'll be doing some of the mixing and mastering, as well as taking you to studio sessions. And I'll be starting to show you around Baltimore, where I call home right now. Locations, we go to certain places and beyond location, show you the city and stuff like that, so you can get a feel of what we represent and where we are coming from. It has something to do with our music, but not all of it, because our music is a universal message and the platform is universal. It's just that it happens to be a lot more relevant to where we are. We do R&B, reggae, but basically we are not. We're not genre specific. We'll consider music as world music, as global music, Afrobeat, reggae, R&B, trap. We do all of that, and we hope that you stick along for a minute. Start to follow us as we drop. We'll drop singles in the next 10 days. We'll drop singles, one single at least every 2 days, to get you exposed to our music and also drive some traffic and subscription to our channel. It would be nice if you keep yourself here notified, so when we drop something new, you'll be the first to know about it. So once you're on our channel today, it doesn't cost much to just click the button down there, right there, and then just subscribe and do whatever you guys do with your social media stuff. And we're also looking for collaborations with local international acts. So if you happen to be a producer or an engineer or an artist, if you feel like you want to collaborate and stuff based on what you hear from us, that would be great. What else is there to talk about? So okay, the first mixtape album is called Mal Intellectis. It has about close to 18 songs. We still deciding on the last few songs to finalize that's why it's taking a minute for us to do all this. But the Mal Intellectis is a free album because it's in partnership with some of the producers that we come across, and we're doing it purely as a way of bringing it to introducing you to our music and us to you, so you can develop your own style of appreciation of what we do musically. We're based in Millersville, Maryland. This is an African. We're looking at Home, and Home is the one that we sell and that has songs that are for sale on it. The Mal Intellect is basically songs that try to express where we're coming from creatively, spiritually, and metaphysically, as well as musically, or through music, especially those things through music. The thing about us, hiolikristo, is that about hiolikristo is that because hiolikristo means high on life in Christ consciousness, and it talks about the divine state on which we were created as beings, as masters of our nature, of our very existence and consciousness, in terms of how to let the heart rule your life. When you pause. So as letting your heart be very dominant in your decision making processes in your life, and how you can walk in that conscious understanding that you're not a sinner who needs to be rescued by a God on a cross, or by a stone in Kaaba, or by ideology in a concept. You know, all those things are just our ways of reminding ourselves of the divine nature that we already carry within us. And so we try to pursue that in our music. We are anti-establishment, anti-religious, anti-government, anti-gender. We basically believe that all human beings have the fundamental right to conscious existence and being who they are in whatever state they find themselves. And when society decide to deem what state is legal and acceptable, then we are playing this crazy game. So we want to be able to bring this consciousness through our music to mainstream. This has already been around. It's just that the West has been very successful of disabusing our minds from the truth of who we are and what we represent in this world. And that is one of the things that we try to pursue in our music. So as you journey fast on this road of divine consciousness and awakening with music and all that, you will come to the point where you start to see what makes us different from most musicians you come across. We lay emphasis on the divinity of man in almost every song that we carry, about how to be constantly aware of that divine nature that exists within you. So, like we said, during the next couple of days, or next few days, and next week, we'll be dropping singles. And if you subscribe to our channel, you can follow our singles and listen to them. And first of all, your comments are your comments. We'll read them. We'll respond to them when we feel like responding to them. If it's about criticism, we'll look at it. And if it's about condemnation, it's your choice to have that feeling, but it has nothing to do with the music. So we don't really pay mind to stuff like that. That is one thing what you come to find out over us over time. That it's not about public acceptance. That's why it took us a longer time to put our stuff together so we can do this, because it's not about the rush to be popular and be trendy. It's more of the legacy that we leave behind, the way that we can help shape the understanding of the human spirit through the heart, so that the mind can reflect the divine conscious nature of the heart. This is hiolikristo. My name is Phoenix, and I want to thank you so much so far. It's been about 9 minutes, 8-9 minutes of your time, and I need to get back to work. I'm just here because I'm having a little technical difficulty. Those of you who are producers, you know what I'm talking about. My system just had to crash, so I have to take time and we'll let it repair itself. And whilst it's doing that, we figured it's time to introduce ourselves to you. So, welcome to hiolikristo. Hope you stay along for the ride. It is an interesting journey, and if we have 1 billion fans, that's cool. If you have 100 fans, that's okay. It's those who really appreciate what we do that we are more grateful for. We don't just want the numbers, but the numbers reflect a true representation of how you feel about our music. That means more to us than having 10 million subscribers who just don't like what you do. So we don't say that we don't want a subscription, but we don't beg for stuff like that. On Marlin Toloptis, if you listen to songs like Babylon Agwan, which talks about the current mass shooting situation that's happening across America, not the world, but across America, and then the general violence that is around the world. You hear songs like Two Souls, which was written by Shushu, and his expression of love in his spirit from as much as it can be expressed. Well, at least from our perspective. And we have, what else do we have on there? Two Souls, Dreams, no Dreams.
Babylon, Two Souls. What else have Freedom?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. About 6, 7, that's fine. I can't even remember the titles. What is that? We're going to list them up here. That's also part of the stuff. We're gonna just list. We're gonna list these titles down here on our page, and then when it starts to come out, once our SoundCloud is set up and then we have done everything, you'll be the first to know about it. So you just stay tuned. You know, I'm just a little worried about this thing. I hope it comes back to life so we can finish where we started. The name Mal intellectus means misunderstood. It's Latin for misunderstood, and that is what we are. We've been cut out of it. We've been exiled from the church, and we don't really do religion. Where our understanding, or I would say personally, my understanding, the revelation of divine understanding and knowledge that I have acquired over the years, has given me this divine perspective about things and how we are all not even interrelated, but we are all the same thing, just having individualized external manifestations and expressions of the same consciousness that exists. The consciousness that exists in you is what exists in the tree, it's what exists in the stone, it's what exists in an ant. The consciousness you have is what exists in the wind, in the sun, in the rain, because they all work with a certain timing, certain feeling, a certain purpose, a certain drive. Without consciousness, you can't have drive, you can't have a mission, you can't have a purpose. They say stones and rocks are not alive, but if they're not alive, they cannot feel heat, they cannot feel cold. You see that, and when you put them under a stone, you bend them down to ashes, they all come back to the same basic unit of cells, protons and neutrons and electrons, which is what we are. Because they're made of chemical organic components. When you break those organic components down, you find the chemicals in them, you find the electrical charges in them. That is why they conduct heat and they conduct all those things, because anything that can conduct is a consciousness. So therefore, everything is alive. These are some of the things we discuss, we try to bring to the fore knowledge of the human mind. And when this consciousness spreads through everything we do, we become more sensitive that everybody is dependent on the other person, because we are the same unit, the same consciousness that is expressing itself. One thing we are so strong about is the concept of I am, which is what is one of the biggest solutions to life's problems. That when we come to understand that when we say I am and everybody says I am, then we are talking about the same person, the same force, the same energy. And that is where love your neighbor as yourself has a basis. Because when you understand that I am all there is, I am all the good, all the bad, all the evil, all the wickedness, all the blessings, all the gratitude, all the killing, all the murder, all the joy, all the healing. You are everything that exists. And the next person is the same, because we all say I am. Nobody calls themselves by their name. Then that's what we say, speaking a third person. The first person is I am. And that's the only person that exists. Individualization is what creates the second and the third person. But everybody says in the first person that I am. And the real name of God is I am. So when we understand this is not religion, this is not Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, whatever. It's not religion. It's a spiritual fact that has been given to us by divine consciousness, so that we are able to walk and operate in that consciousness and walk in this world to achieve the general purpose of finding divinity in ourselves, so that when we exit the frame of decay and death, which we call the world of the living, quote unquote, we will be able to go back to divine consciousness. Everything in this world is already dead. It is our consciousness that animates it. $1 billion in the Amazon jungle is of no use. 1 billion tons of gold, where there's no gold processing plant to convert it into value, has no value. It is we who use our consciousness to give value to things. And on this basis of using consciousness to give value to things, we have become so confused that the things that we have put ourselves in to give power to has taken precedence over who we are. We are the creators, not the creatures. We are the creator that exists in the creation, but we're not the creatures. The things we create are this and the creations of the creator. So this kind of knowledge, which has been ancient and still organic, is here, is what the West calls the first world knowledge or the second world knowledge, which is an irony. Because Western civilization, and I'm trying to be a political or anything or a historian farm or anything, when you set aside his story or her story and you go into the fact that exists on this planet, on this plane of consciousness, which we call the planet, because we're trying to minimize ourselves as nothing into nothing. This is the only plane of consciousness that exists in the world. There are other realms that are so intertwined with ours and interdependent on ours to function, to exist, but the only plane of consciousness is Earth. And being a flat earth with a dome over it, when you don't even accept that basic concept, which all religions ascribe to, ancient religions, cosmology has ascribed to, it makes you wonder where all this science and knowledge that we have acquired in the last 500 years is leading us to. More individualization of stuff. But then science and technology is trying to create a internet of things where you bring a oneness, but they want to have that oneness under somebody's control. These are things that that's why it's hard for us sometimes to really get on here to express, because we are not inciting any violence or advocating any supremacy of one race over the other, which is also another irony, because there's no other race apart from the human race. We just come in different hues, but we think that the black race is different from the white race, which is a very stupid, ignorant statement in light of what is happening right now. There's nothing called the Indian race, the black race, the white race. There's only the human race and the animal race. We come in different shades and different colors. When we stop judging ourselves in these colors and see them as colors or hues instead of racial distinctions, which doesn't exist, we will be able to solve these issues of racism on a very, very deep level. And these are some of the things that we cover in our music. So as you follow us and listen to our work, we hope that you appreciate it. We're not fan of trendy stuff, but I hope you will have the chance to enjoy the message in our music. Thank you so far for this time, and we should catch up with you during this week. We'll try to be more consistent on this channel so you can have the chance to get to know us. And when I go down to the city, I'll take you along and show you where I normally hang around the city. I'm not a big of a city. I'm not a city person, but I'll show you places that I get my inspiration from, that I enjoy to interact with people and to do our shows. You'll also be able to follow us on our open mic sessions, right? And then do the studio sessions where we get online to premiere the single releases. You'll be the first to know. So tell a friend to subscribe to hiolikristo. I hope I didn't bore you, and if you want more of this, you know where to catch us. It's hiolikristo on YouTube. That's HIOLIKRISTO on YouTube. And also on Facebook and Instagram. It's the same thing. On Twitter, it's the same thing on Twitter. So wherever you want to follow us, follow us. Pretty soon we'll bring our SoundCloud and our Spotify links to you so you can listen, stream, and share our music. Thank you so much.